This is Justin Amazon for Friday, January 31st, 2020. I am taking a look at Amazon a little different way. I've got both of the top charts here showing 5-minute Amazon, but this one's inverted, so it's minus Amazon or negative Amazon. This one is just the regular Amazon chart that I normally have the daily on, so that's why there's no extended hours and why the moving averages look a little different than normal. Down here are the 2025 call and the 2025 put. And I just kind of wanted to have the cursor line up on everything as I'm going through. So, I'm looking at this one over here. My cursor is lining up on all four images. And you can see that, these being the positive ones where we're looking at calls, looking at the positive move on, anything bouncing, you're seeing the call go up. And then on this one, you're seeing the negative Amazon where puts should be going up, right? Anytime this goes up. Well, that didn't happen until really the end of the day where we really got this move going on here, this rally into the close as Amazon was, selling off through here. And as it was selling off, the calls were losing their value. So I just thought this was a little different way to look at Amazon. I'm sure you've been looking at the charts and figuring out, wow, it had a huge move. How could I have been in on something like that? And obviously not knowing how far it's going to gap, but the potential was there. I believe it went way further than anybody was really anticipating it going. And the video that I just did for Thursday really talked about what could happen next and how to play it. And we did end up getting the sell-off. It just opened a little bit differently than I expected. It opened just above 2050.50, sold off hard, really, really hard. And puts were making some money here as it was pulling back. Calls were losing value very quickly. The 2025 came down to between 10 and 11 bucks. If you had a puke order there, maybe that would have filled, but it would have been really difficult to just get something set up. This is just a really, really, really wide range on this option. To go further out, like a 2050 call, or 2075 call, or even a 2100 call, had you been buying off of this candle, you could have scalped a little bit on the way back up here with $100 risk. Really difficult to do because so much option premium is getting sucked out. And it moved so much. I mean, it really moved about 50 bucks in 15 minutes, 50 points. So it did that, and then it retraced that over the next hour or so, got way back up here. And this was a great opportunity to see the 2050.50 price come in as resistance. We actually didn't touch 2050.50 here or here. And at that point, that was some of the highs of the calls. And over here, we didn't even make as close of a high. We started making lower highs on the calls. And the puts, as they came down to this level here and then this level here, they were actually making lower lows. So this is just an example of how much of the premium is getting sucked out. Because if we're going back down again, I mean, if this low is lower and it's closer to the strike of the put, it should be a better value than this one. Well, that's not the case because of the Greeks, the premium is getting sucked out. And so you really need to watch for these spikes here, these pushes higher, and be ready to short them. Ready to get into puts. And so, through here, you had some lows between like 4 and 5. Over here, you had a low that dipped actually below 2. Like it was half the value here. And again, it just, there was so much premium loss between this breakdown and recovery than whenever it was over here. So it was really channeling for a bit, or you could say it was making some higher lows and lower highs, ultimately coming into somewhat of an apex here or a bit of a stair step, broke down, retraced, and then this candle was an inverted hammer, and you could see the calls were just losing value from that point. We were just going lower and lower and lower. Depending on how you draw this triangle, you could even have an apex over here with a stair step here, and a retracement here, just straddling the 2025 price, and definitely making lower highs. But the puts actually started to hold on a little bit here. So like I said, at this price, sorry, this candle, it was around $3. 3x2 could have worked. And then over here, we're kind of in that same, let's see, was it here? Yeah, 3x2. We were right back into that range here. So we were holding the same level now instead of losing more. And we went from here to here, the puts lost value. We went from here to here, the puts actually held the value. And so it's just kind of a way to say that the puts weren't gaining much premium, like it wasn't being baked back in because the option, the market makers don't want to put premium back into the options, especially when it has this potential to roll over. And that's what it was really setting up to do. On the inverted Amazon, we were really holding the 21 really, really well. On this one, it's a little bit skewed again because it doesn't have the pre-market. So if you look at this one, I'll flip it back so you can see. But we held the 21 really, really well all through this area. And it really did this double top right on there. And the second top, that was the place to get in on this little price right down here, 3x2. And it just went. It started to run. It really started to move. So if I switch this back now to daily here, that's what I normally see in the daily. There we go. And we'll flip this one back to 5 minute. And we'll zoom back in on this. You can see, yeah, so let me zoom in on this one. Next. All right. You can see how well we held the 21. We pushed through it, but we held it here, pushed through it, didn't get a better, got a lower put price here, probably because we were pushing away. This was a really nice trap here, getting above the open of this candle, pushing over this. There are people thinking it's going to go, it's breaking out. Nope, it's not. Rolled back down, came into the 21 here, here, and all through here. And the 2025, it was a nice price to kind of recover to here, bounce off of here, break down and come back to right here. But it, gave this kind of false breakdown here and recovered back up again, just like this did, getting back above the high or open up a bigger candle. We did actually push back up above this candle here. And so, you're trapping bears that are getting in aggressively, looking for it to roll over. You're trapping bulls that think this is where it's bouncing. And that's the same thing that was happening through here. People were thinking, oh, it's breaking down, high wave candle, it's going to go. Nope, it did a stair step, and then it bounced with somewhat of a hammer type candle here. We had some other hammers, a couple of hammers here that helped push things up, inverted hammer here, high wave candle. I think it was the 3 minute that a lot of this looks like hammers. This is more of like a dragonfly doji, and again, really difficult to trade, but looking for it to hold our levels we've had on here. So let me switch to 3 minute because I think that did show some other levels. Let's see, I'm looking for those hammers, inverted hammers here, a couple of hammers here. Just trying to remember where I was seeing the hammers because I was looking at this again earlier. Invert hammer here that didn't work. Nice hammer here. Let's see, I zoomed in more when I was looking at this earlier. There you go. Seeing hammer, inverted hammer. Sorry, inverted hammer, hammer, inverted hammer. Hammer here. Not quite a hammer. Here's an inverted hammer. And high wave candles. So, just reading these candles and seeing where they're at. This was definitely a double top right here with the 2025 price as the neckline, basically, or at least the level that it was holding. And again, it was making lower highs from here and higher lows from here and coming into this price and then just breaking down. And it had a very quick move here. Once about 2 o'clock was hitting. So just before 2 o'clock, you did a really nice stair step below this level. It broke down, recovered, broke down, recovered, broke down, and continued. High wave candle here, indecision at basically a previous low, and then continue to break down quickly. So this was, into the end of the day here, this was the place to, about 2 o'clock, which, the options towards the end of the day here are trying to lose all premium, any of them that are out of the money. Oops. So, from just about the last hour of the day, trading this level into this level or down to this level. I mean, the 3 minute traded really well with the levels that I've had on here. Really nice stair step on this one that then broke down. A nice hammer down here. Inside candle that broke out, came right back up to this level with a hammer, and we couldn't really get above it. I think the highs of these two, 3 cents apart on these highs. And then this turned into basically a bit of a triangle, just a really small, actually, no, that was a lower low. So just another stair step here that didn't really do too much to roll over again. I think that's the potential into Monday, into the coming week, that we could see some more pullback, some more selling off. We've got a lot of space in here that's just empty. Last time, I can't even get on the same chart here. Last time we've been up here, obviously this has been an all-time high, and we just made a new all-time high. So we've sold off from this price before. This candle selling off, this selling off, this selling off. We've done a lot of selling from this range, and it just shows now that what we did through here, making a really nice distribution, broke out, gave us that S curve, came right back into that same exact level, and this is the 1815 price. I think it was 1815 and 34 cents on this day. That would have been a good place to just get in some shares, because it held that level so well. Just getting in that day and just holding that through earnings, because even if it were to gap down some, I mean, depending on if you're doing one share, you could lose your $100 risk. But if you could get into more than that, a long-term account, Amazon's a company to get into long-term, and it's showing that here. So again, widening this out, this is a much bigger triangle here. And right now we're staying within, now this range. We'll see if we can pull back a little bit more. Come into maybe the 20, what price was this? 2070 something. 1972.50. See if we can come back into that price, because we've straddled that some before, and get some bounce. But we've been in this range before. We've been at these prices before, and any one of these pivots is the one that could work, even where we're at right now. We could totally just bounce from here. In reality, I don't know that we're going to do that. I think some more selling's in store, because there's a lot of people already profitable that, people, like I said, people were selling their shares already, being up the very next day, or anybody who's ever bought Amazon was profitable as it opened or as it pushed up a little bit. Even after hours, again, looking back at where we went, making an all-time high up here. I've already drawn a new line here. I can't get it to appear on this chart. It's just not up there. So I'm not sure. I gotta figure out what I gotta do with that. But I'm going to leave this price 20, 50, 50. I'm not going to move, yet another line just a few bucks away at this point. But we'll see what we need to be tracking in here to get some new levels. Made some nice lower lows from after hours to pre-market to today, and it just right now looks like a nice flag. It's got kind of some angles to it. We'll see if we continue into something tomorrow where we pull back a little bit more, Monday, as we pull back a little bit more here. Or if we can hold this level. We made two prices right around this low at 2005. And so we'll see, if we hold that level, then this could be an S-curve here. As it is, this could look like a double top and somewhat of a deeper neckline retracement. This could be a double top, that broke down, retested. This is the neckline, so we want to see, price get above 2025, 57 and hold that, and then really start to rally from there. And, I had looked at the, so let's see, the daily squeeze fired, the weekly, I thought there was a squeeze there too, right? Oh, it had already fired. Okay, so the weekly is fired. That looks great on a weekly. It's a really nice stair step, gap down, broke out, broke out from this distribution through here. So, this squeeze, it's already played out really a good move. We could push up some more still here. And then on a monthly, I was thinking this was, nope, no, it didn't break out, or it didn't trigger yet. So we did get the cyan histogram here, but we did not break out, or we did not fire the squeeze yet. So we're into a new month for February. We'll see if we do continue higher, but we had 4 bullish months in a row, 4 positive closes on the months in a row, followed, preceded by 3 here. We've had plenty. We've had 5 here. We had 5 here. Let's see, go back further. At 4 here. I guess for months in a row, 4 or 5 is, here's 6 here. Here's 6 here, 4 here, 4 here. For months in a row, we could do with a bit of a pullback, bit of a bearish candle, and then continue with some more bullish moves. So we'll see if we do get any sort of a trigger into February here. And again, we're getting set up, since it hasn't triggered, we're getting set up for a much bigger monthly move that'll just, I'm going to get rid of a lot of these lines because we're just going to keep on roaring higher. And so at any sort of pullback, let's look for the values that we want to, the prices that we want it to pull back into. And as it is right now, this area here, getting into the mid to low 1900s is a nice area to pull back. If we do something like this, where we broke out, retrace back to this level, that'd be similar to this breakout and retracing back to this level, because this is where we had, our previous highs through here. We have a gap here that remains open. All of this from here to here currently, it's not like an island reversal. It's much too big for that, but this is a significant gap. If we continue to hold, if we pull back and hold that, that's going to become like a double gap. That's just amazingly huge. And we may never see it get below that price. So I know that's a big word, saying never, but it's possible. Nice high wave candle here. We've been below it for some time. Now we're above it. We'll see if we even come down into that same price. But the indecision there, being above it again here, we'll see if we can just stay above. Anywhere in this range, it's a no man's land. It's been a while since we traded through there. It was July that we were in this pricing. So we'll see if that's our next target, and we'll just keep an eye on that. So keep looking at the other options to get a feel for what they did. From what I had said Thursday, it kind of did both things. We had pre-market start a little bit down here. I was thinking it was going to start down here. And then I said a rally should start at 2050. We got a rally that started down here at 2025 and pushed up. So we got the pre-market move, which was what I thought one of the directions could be. And then the actual open started right at 2050, which I thought it was going to be lower, pushed down much quicker, made a new low on the day. This was a place people were buying, rallied back up to 2050. So I thought, the movement we were going to have was going to push down lower, recover lower, and then ultimately roll back down and be like further down here. I didn't think it was going to get all the way back to 1900. I drew it, saying, I didn't mean to draw it down to 1880, even though I did. But I expected to be down into these pivots here. Instead, we stayed up at these pivots, which is fine. It's still, they still work pretty well. So, like I said, we'll see what pivots we're going to keep an eye on. And I've already done a little bit of cleaning up with some of the lower ones. But these ones I wanted to leave them here just to see how we interacted with earnings. And I'm glad I did, because they interacted pretty well. So, again, we'll see how some of these move the next couple days here this week, and kind of what we're going to do overall. So hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.